What's up, guys? Today on Fishing in the Northeast, I'm going to be talking about creek fishing. Now, creek fishing is something that I do a lot. There's a lot of little creeks around me, and if you really fish them hard, you can catch some bass. And some pretty big bass, too. I've caught up to like 3-4 pounders in creeks. Alright, so we're going to start it off with the rods you're going to want for creek fishing. There's 2 rods. You're going to start off with your spinning rod. Right here I have a 7'3". It's like it's a medium light. It says it's a medium, but it really fishes like a medium light. You know, it's that perfect, like, it's not an ultralight. It like still has some solid backbone. Like you can throw some like, you know, heavier stuff like shaky heads and Ned rigs on this, but obviously heavier for spinning. But it's still got that light touch, like you could throw little tiny baits on it. And it has a pretty nice, it has a big, like it's not super fast, it's got that like nice wobbly tip. And I like that for creeks because you're not fishing so precisely, like, you know, you want to be able to like really like slingshot those light little baits out there. And it's really accurate. And you know, the reel I put on it, like usually for this rod, I'll use a Lew's Mach 2 spinning reel for like bass fishing normally. But when I'm creek bass fishing, I use a Pflueger President size. I want to say this is like a 2000, maybe it's a 1500, but it's a smaller reel, and I have light line on this. Like I go really light line when creek fishing. I think this is 6-pound monofilament, which is really good. Casts perfectly. Like never have line issues with it. It's so light, but it's still like got a little like you can handle like. I mean, obviously a big bass you're gonna want to be good, but like if you're catching little like 1-pound bass, this is perfect, and you'll still have some fun. It's nice and sporting. So that's gonna be my spinning combo right there, and. So yeah, that's that. I'm real right-handed, but it doesn't really matter. So there's your spinning combo. And then for casting, you're gonna want, I like to go with, there's 2 options. You can go with, I like to go shorter for creeks. So these are both 6'6" rods. One is they're both medium heavies, but one's a little heavier than the other. This one is heavier. This was an ugly stick, and then I just kind of like souped it up and customized it. And then this is an Abu Garcia Vendetta casting. They're both medium heavies. This one is a fast. I think this one is a fast too. It does not say. But this one, now this one's got a wobblier tip. So this one's gonna be good if you're fishing like top water in a creek, I would say, and like maybe little crankbaits. But this, I would go with this for all around over this. But either of them will work. You just want a little shorter because obviously you're not casting as far, and you want that accuracy. And you want a faster rod, like for the spinning. I like that kind of little wobble, but this is like a nice solid rod. Like I use this when I'm like for lake fishing. I use this for jerk baits. And then reels. You can go with braid. You can get away with braid in like a 10-pound, like go like 20-30 pound braid. Maybe like 10-15 fluorocarbon leader. I mean, that's a little heavy. That's a little pushing it. But that's like a nice. That would work, especially if you're fishing like a dirtier creek and you need some more sensitivity if you can't see bites. Most of the creeks I fish are clear, so that's when I go with a reel with. This is a Shimano Caius, by the way. It's a nice discount. It's an inexpensive, one of Shimano's more inexpensive reels. Highly recommend it. I'll link that in the description below. But what I go with for creek fishing, Shimano Scorpion. It's got those nice big handles for when your hands are all wet. You can really just grip those, and if you're flipping and you just get a bite, you can really crank it out of there. So that's, and I have right on this reel, I have monofilament 14-pound mono, which is a pretty good all around. Like you can use that ponds and lakes too. It's a good creek line weight, especially for casting. And some of the fish, the creeks I fish, have a lot of heavy cover. So this reel, it's got really strong drag. You can really winch those fish out of there, especially with the shorter rod. You got a lot of. It's a lighter rod, but you still got a lot of power in this. Okay. So there's rods and reels. There's your two, spinning and casting. Now we're gonna go lures. So for creek fishing, I literally cover everything. I'll bring everything from a little tiny trout magnet, and this is made for panfish, but that thing can slay some bass, I'm telling you. Like bass will crush this thing. It's not as fun to throw, and that's what you need, that like light spinning rod for just like whipping it out there. But yeah, I'll go from that all the way to like I'll throw like a swim bait, like a bluegill swim bait in a creek, and that's when you get your big bites. And I'll throw but I'm gonna pick out like 3 creek necessities for bass, just strictly bass, not multi-species, just bass. All right, number 1, I'm gonna go with the finesse jig. This jig, I believe, is a Googan Squad Little Juicy jig. It's bluegill patterned. You want to always, for creeks, I think you'll be consistent. If you get bluegill patterned stuff, you should be good. Because most creeks, the main forage is bluegill. I don't think there's much shad in creeks unless it's it comes down from a river and there's like a lot of water in it. But it's a bluegill patterned Little Juicy jig, Googan Squad. On the back of that, I got a Strike King little Rage Tail craw. I'll link everything that's in this video in the description. Now you could go I don't like to throw a a normal size craw on the back of finesse jigs because then it gets a little wide for the skirt and it doesn't look as natural. And I barely ever throw a normal jig, like a big jig in a creek, but I will throw finesse jigs all the time because that'll catch you, that'll get a lot of bites, especially when they're finicky. That can get them. So that's one lure that you can use in creeks. That'll be good. The second lure, soft plastic, very diverse bait. You've probably heard of it. I think we already have another video on this channel up. Right here, the Senko, of course. This Senko right here is a Googan Squad Lunker Log, Googan baits. But if you're gonna get a Senko, honestly, these are great. These will catch you a ton of fish. But if you're like me and you're worried about you don't want to spend $7 on a pack of Senkos, go with the Yum Dinger. It's like a $2.50 pack. They're great, have almost as good action. The Lunker Logs have a little better action, but maybe you'll get a couple more bites. But these are still gonna kill them. They'll kill them. So that's a great bait. You can rig that with a Texas rig hook. You can throw that on one of these, or you can throw that on a wacky rig hook, like a little drop shot hook. So that's your second bait. And then your third bait is going to be a topwater. Now, it really depends where you are, but topwater creek fishing is overlooked. A lot of people don't do it, but it's fun. You can throw, depending on where you are, but my go-tos, you can throw a frog, but you're not going to get as many hookups just because the fish would tend to be a little smaller in creeks. But my 2 go-tos gotta be just a Whopper Plopper, with the prop on the back, just straight retrieve. Make sure you get that sweet spot in your retrieve where you get that loudest sound, and then also just a normal popper, just a little popper, just little bloops, and they'll crush it. Or you could even walk it on the surface with the popper. All of these So for the rods, you could throw, I would throw the finesse jig. You could probably throw them a spinning if you like a spinning rod more. If you're just more comfortable with a spinning rod, you can get away with it. You might want to up your line a little bit out though, just to like 8 or 10 or something. Just because it's like a pretty heavy bait for a spinning rod. Senko, I throw spinning and casting. But I literally have no preference. Like I'll throw it on either. Just for these, I would probably throw it on the casting. So, actually no. Senko, I would go spinning. It's just a spin. It's like a really good, especially with like the finessier approach with the spinning rod. And then popper, you could go spinning. You can't go wrong either for any of these baits. Actually, the whopper plumber you're gonna want casting, but popper, spinning. It's kind of light. Poppers aren't very heavy, and you can get that really you can get really precise with the action. Whopper plopper, you're gonna want to throw it on the casting rod because it's a heavier bait, and you want that faster retrieve. The casting rod gets you that faster retrieve and the more accurate casting because those things are expensive, and you don't want to throw that into a tree because sometimes it can get a little out of hand with the spinning rod, and you want the heavier line. So yeah, that's basically my my creek fishing, everything you need to know. Just your 3 baits, Senko, finesse jig, and whopper plopper. Throw those, you'll catch them. So those are the 3 creek fishing basic lures you would want to use in your 2 rods and reels. Now, you can basically throw these in any creek with bass in it. Get bites, smallmouth and largemouth. That's why I like the finesse jig, because you can hit smallmouth on them too. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment videos you like to see. We'll do anything. See you next time.